It's the 9th of November 2025. Furia, Brazil's powerhouse, led by FalleN, is in the grand final of IEM Chengdu. They're facing up against world number 1 Vitality, arguably the biggest dynasty that modern Counter-Strike has ever seen. A team that essentially wins every tournament they enter, and the community has already ruled this an easy win for Vitality. A surefire bet, but this tournament would turn out like no one had expected and crown a new legend. This is the insane story of how FalleN revived Furia. If you're new to Counter-Strike Esports, you might think Furia is Brazil's first big moment on the world stage. But oh no, this story goes way back. The year is 2016, the golden era of CSGO. Currently, a Brazilian super team is taking over the pro circuit. They're called Luminosity Gaming, the first tier 1 roster built entirely from Brazilian talent. 5 absolute legends of the game: coldzera, FNX, Taco, Fur, and FalleN. Names that would soon become iconic. Together they didn't just win, they would dominate, claiming 2 major titles and several other tier 1 trophies under 2 different orgs, all under the leadership of one man, FalleN. But at the top of their dominance, the team's form would start to show cracks, and their form would fall slowly but surely. But why? Before we answer this question, consider subscribing. Most of you aren't subscribed, so if you like the video, just quickly go down and subscribe, as I'm trying to reach 5,000 subs before the end of the year. Oh, and I made a Discord server, so consider joining. I host giveaways from time to time. You see, the roster would get picked up by MIBR, and their management would give the team an insane schedule, and thus their form never reached the level they had been playing at before, never winning any substantial tier 1 trophy. They would always be able to put up a fight, but this team was made for trophies, and as they weren't winning any, something had to change. And after sticking with the team for years, FalleN would leave the team, and thus his legendary teammates, in 2020, a move that would shock the entire world. He would subsequently bounce around several teams over the next few years, never being able to fit in. But behind the scenes, something had started to change. These 5 Brazilian legends had inspired their whole country, and a new wave of players had started to sprout around in Brazil, with many Brazilian players telling stories of how FalleN directly helped young talent sprout, and a new team had been created, built on the same principles the older Brazilian teams had played under: insane aggression. And this team would be called Furia. The team featured many players who would become legendary to the Brazilian fans, and they would capture the hearts of the world during the IEM Rio Major, where they almost took it all the way. And the players, Vini, Yuri, Art, and Queserato, would become Brazil's new legends. These youngsters were destined to bring glory back to Brazil. The team would always go far in majors, but they were never able to go further than the quarterfinals. And in July of 2023, they threw a Hail Mary, a decision to pick up the very leader that put Brazil on the map, FalleN. It was almost as if they had watched Cars and seen Doc Hudson teaching Lightning McQueen his old moves, and gotten to the conclusion that they had to bring back their old leader. FalleN wasn't the same insane player he was back then. He had aged to 32 years old, an age considered elderly in the esports world. But as a true veteran of the game, he had something most leaders didn't have: over a decade of esports experience. And as the summer of 2025 started, Furia picked up Molodoi, a young unproven rookie, and Yakinda, a fellow veteran of the scene. And let's just say, it all just clicked. They would win Fisher Playground 2 against world number 2, the Mongols, and Thunderpick World Championship 2025 against world number 1, Navi. And as they won these tournaments, their rating was steadily rising. But to prove yourself in the professional CS2 scene, there's one big challenge: beating Vitality, arguably the most dominant team in CS2. But this would all change as they entered IEM Chengdu 2025. They would exit group play, winning against Linvision 2-0, against G2 2-0, but lose to Mouse 2-1, meaning they had to go the long way from the semi-finals. They were facing world number 4, the Mongols, and would stomp them 2-0. Next was world number 3, the Falcons, barely squeezing out the win 2-0, and this meant yet another grand final. But this wouldn't be like the other finals. They were facing world number 1 Vitality. The entire community was basically thinking, well, their legendary run is over by now. But one thing is for certain: Brazilians will give every team a fight for their money, no matter how good you think you are. And as they entered Ancient, Furia would show why they should be respected.
Missed it, there'll be plenty of that.
Not great. Smoke, they have to disrespect this. Zoe's going to push through, there's no flash, and he's got no head. And there we go, 3v0.
They would win the first 3 rounds, but after winning their first round, Vitality would start to pick up steam, steamrolling into a 4-3 lead.
Sorry, Yakinda is already across. Not anymore, he's not. Messi hits the shot, double kill. Oh, he gets 3. 1 magazine of the M4A1S, and the job is done. Serato and Molodoi, last of 4. Quad kill out of Merriman.
Furia would pick up the last 5 rounds of the half, putting the match at 8-4.
He's got clutches.
Oh.
He's missed his shot though between the wickets of Zaiwu. Closed in on, closes the gap, isolates. Oh, he's not far off, you know. Opts for the USP. He's only got 1 bullet, has Molodoi. Holding him, peeking Molodoi stands up and delivers.
Hey, he's new to our screens, but damn does he look comfortable.
But both teams had come to play, and just as one team was starting to get ahead, the other team would simply just turn up. And after 7 rounds in a row, Vitality had taken the lead and was leading by 11-8. Only 2 rounds away from finishing map 1, stealing Furia's pick. But they weren't going to lose this map like they had before, and they would start fighting back.
FalleN in the clutch, having a go. Swings on it, number 2! There he is! The professor arrives, teaches them a lesson. Messi on the short side needs this. Serato's quick. Nice from Robson Messi. Bomb's not being planted.
Time.
Bomb is not being planted. Flank from FalleN. 10 seconds. Messi, where's the bomb? He is screwed. Can they run him down? Can they wallbang him out? Yuri's coming for you. And Furia, they take the first map of this grand final.
Winning this map meant Furia was ahead 1-0, but Vitality thrive in these situations, getting behind and watching their enemies let their guard down just for them to push even harder. And this is exactly what happened as they entered Inferno, Vitality's pick.
Okay, Yuri, this is awkward. He still manages to turn the flash, can't get a frag. Molodoi can. Trade up available. Drops onto Molodoi though. Looking good, the flash is there, he doesn't have the bullets! And Rob! Flash and go. There's Yakinda, starts as he needs to go on. The combination punch, 1 and 2. There's a second out of Yakinda. Finally, Zaiwu brings them down. Zaiwu plays it nicely.
Getting ahead 5-0, Furia had to do something to stop the dominance. FalleN drops his ult to Molodoi, their young rookie, as he's having a great game at this point, and then the energy shifts.
Smoke, he caught the flash as well. Zaiwu places it well. Nice one back, Molodoi. The library hunt. FalleN has vision though. Flamesy making things weird with the Molotov out. FalleN falls back as Flamesy's found. Face as Apex goes down, a leg shot. Could finish it with a USP. Rox is trying to do something, but caught by Yuri.
Furia starts winning rounds, putting the match at 7-5 at halftime. And as they switch to the terrace side, it's clear Furia is going to go hyper-aggressive.
Trying to bait him in, back away. Flames will force Zaiwu to do the same. He doesn't get what he wanted there. There's some flashes from Apex that sets them up for that re-aggress. Bit of a pistol demon, look at him go. Farms up number 3. Quick one back from Molodoi. A Furia pistol here. Serato through the smoke. And drops the same case. He's not. Serato, oh, he's ready for you.
Doing this early.
Yeah, Robs reacts. Zaiwu throws out the nade. Is he going to get caught? Ooh, just turns around in time. Support arrives because empty-handed. And Yuri, hang on a second, removing Zaiwu. Oh, no! Another frag. Molodoi's AK. Yakinda's walking up on that. Oh, he still wins the duel, though. Apex has to make up for it.
He can stop the cross.
Certainly could. And he does. Adjusts. Zaiwu advancing. Does find the damage. Can't finish him off just yet. Zaiwu progressing forward. There's the headshot you needed. It looks like Furia are going to go 2-0 in this grand final. What a way!
And they close out the second map 13-11. The impossible is starting to become possible. Furia is now 1 map away from proving themselves against world number 1. And if they win this map, FalleN will go down in history as the greatest Brazilian leader to ever grace the game. But there is nothing else to do than show up.
And he will! Masterful from Yakinda, demonstrating once more his power. Oh, how is he better through the smoke? Playmaker in this do-or-die affair. Clears out Messi. There's another. Serato steps up. Tality hurrying into the site. Awkward, sweaty palms. Frag for Molodoi. Are they doing it? Yes, they are. The king loses his crown. There is a new contender in town.
1, IEM Chengdu, and years of hard work had culminated for FalleN. Furia is currently rated number 2 in the world, and maybe this team has the power to win Brazil their 3rd ever major and prove that this region is still capable of dominating the world. But if they don't, FalleN is still Brazil's most legendary leader. If you like this video, you definitely like my documentary about the greatest comeback in Counter-Strike's history. And as always, I'll see you in the